Fifth Hour Radio Show.
Theodus, after reading over your bio, I can tell you've been involved in a ton of different things over your lifetime. But we got to start from somewhere, right? So do you mind giving us and our listeners an idea perhaps on what first initially got you interested in acting?
Honestly, the first thing that let me know that it was a possibility, I was like 11 or 12. And I was, I was just getting involved with different things along with him, but I was in this play at church. And it was with, among other people, this dude named Kenan Thompson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like right after that play, I started hearing about this dude be on Nickelodeon, and I see him on Good Burger and all that. And I was like, you know what? If he could do it, I can do it. That actually happened. But the first thing that made me think about it seriously was my first paying gig was this play that I did in Atlanta. I was a bit older, called Hair. It was the first time that I auditioned for anything serious. And I was recommended by a producer of this community theater that I've been working with. And that lifestyle, like, I was going to work every day. It was really actually kind of strenuous. It was 9-hour days, 6 days a week. We had 6 to 8 performances a week for about a month. So it wasn't a terribly long run, but that was a lot of time to put in. But every minute I spent doing it, I loved. And then when I got into the film process, when I moved to New Orleans, we were spending 12 to 15 hours on set, and it was the same kind of thing. And I could do that, love it, and imagine how much money I would actually get once it started rolling. Like the thought of money didn't ruin it. So that's one big thing for me, man. There's a lot of things I love to do, and money just ruins it.
Yeah, man. Money rules all things. So first starting out, man, trying to land whatever roles you could. I'm sure there was a lot of ups and downs. You know, you had your high moments, your low moments. Did you ever have thoughts on giving up, or did you know that, this was your calling and you was going to see this thing through no matter what?
And the highs and lows keep going. This, I honestly, this is also the first time I've never thought, even when it was at its lowest, is, dude, I've been like doing this. I've been homeless, damn near destitute, damn near on the street, and never once did I think, well, I guess this ain't for me. It was always something that, I guess reassured me that I'm making the right decision. And I was right. Like, I've not regretted a moment.
So did those low moments right there, I mean, did it solidify? I mean, how do I put this? I mean, even though you had all those low... Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, there was no moment that made me think that I made the wrong decision. Like, there were moments when I was thinking, what am I doing with my life? But it's a little different. But there's never a time when I thought that this was a mistake or I should put it into something else. Like, honestly, one of the best days of my life was quitting my day job.
And that's a hard decision to make for somebody, right?
Extremely.
Because you kind of leave yourself out there, it's like do or die, right?
And that's the thing. I had a conversation with Phil Lamar from Mad TV, and he did a lot of voice work, and he was in Pulp Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in Washington, D.C. at AwesomeCon. And he told me, you're never really going to put as much effort as you need to succeed in an occupation like this if you have a day job. If you always know that you have something to fall back on, you're never going to put 100% into it because you feel safe,
Yeah.
And he was right. I'll put more effort into this now that I don't have that safety net. And, again, not one regret.
I always said, out of desperation, you get your best imagination.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let's talk about your character, Big Tiny, on The Walking Dead. How did you score that? Was it a typical audition for you, or were you approached for that role?
It wasn't typical. It was AMC requested the audition through my agent. They were in Atlanta, production and everything. I was in New Orleans, and so they requested a video audition. I just taped it and sent it in. And normally there's a callback process, and you have to go through a couple of steps, but this was pretty easy. I'm pretty sure that they know what they want run out the gate just making sure you can do the job. They're you know, because everybody I've talked to just about, with only one exception really, has had that experience.
Mm-hmm. So did you nail that audition on the spot, or did you have to wait, you know, like on pins and needles for a few days before you got word you got that part?
Well, normally, the normal wait time for an audition, to even find out if you got a call back is like a week or two. So I actually found out within a week that I got it. So that was actually one of the easiest on the nerves as far as processes go that I've been through.
Okay. So once you got word that, you know, that role was yours, I got to know, man, you know, that's one of the biggest shows, if not the biggest show on television. What did you do to celebrate? Did you have a big party, or was there no time to let everything sink in before you had to get to work?
Actually, I went to Biloxi, Mississippi, and hung out on the beach for about a day. It was supposed to be a weekend, but it rains and pours, and that was some good rain I was getting. I had gotten a call about what we call the Bagman, and I didn't realize it at the time, but through that I was going to get to work with Robert de Niro and John Cusack, and so I had to come in from Biloxi to, I think it was Louisiana. It was some part of Louisiana I'd never been to. They were filming on this crazy looking motel set. It wasn't even a set; it was an actual motel that turned into a set. But I met up with the director, and that was actually. Matter of fact, now that I think about it, that was the easiest audition process, because he said, "Do you want the job?" I said, "Yeah." And, all right, shook my hand and we left, parted away. So, but yeah, like that was definitely one of those high times. But yeah, man, I didn't know the magnitude of the scope of it all. I didn't realize how big a show it was at the time. I know it was big because even though we couldn't talk about it, you know, we couldn't like social media or whatever. But I have some people that, you know, you're confident people that you can share stuff like that with, you know, you don't have to worry. And they were way more excited than I thought they were going to be.
So you really didn't know that much about the show. You really wouldn't consider yourself a huge fan of the show.
Well, no, because I don't watch TV. Like I watch Netflix and Hulu and things like that, but I don't watch like actual TV. I don't. So I'd heard of it, and it looked really interesting, and I wanted to watch it, but I just never had the opportunity. And I didn't watch it until after we filmed. And I came back, and I basically powered through season 1 and 2. And then I realized how big of a deal it was.
Yeah, it's a great show. You know, I'm a huge fan of the show, and I've seen every episode. And a lot of the actors who have come and gone say they really don't know when their expiration day is coming, you know. Did you know your character's part from the very beginning? Did you know you was going to be a so-called walker bait from the jump? Even though you really, you weren't technically walker bait, but you were, you know, killed by your buddy, how do they pronounce his name? Tomas?
Tomas, yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know initially. We got our scripts at the beginning of that week. And we all found out at the same time. It's funny because, like, all our trailers were next to each other. Nick Gomez, who played Tomas, was next to mine, and then Vincent, and then Andrew, not Andrew, I can't remember his name now. But yeah, the guy from Andrew. And we were reading in our trailer, and so we all came out, and everybody was just apologizing. I hadn't gotten to that part yet. They finished a little bit before me. And so I'm like, what is everybody sorry for? What are you talking about? I read through it, and they were all like, it was like a support group standing around me while I was watching how I was going to die. But yeah, I mean, it was, and as it resolved in my mind then, you know, even though, yeah, I was the first to die, the first to go or whatever, I took solace in the fact that, one, I mean, it's going to be really cool looking. Like, there's no way that I could be on a show like that and not have a really cool looking death, especially the way I read on paper.
Yeah.
And two, I mean, at least I have the opportunity to be on the show, and I'm going to do the best I can to, you know, bring this performance to life while I have the opportunity. opportunity.
Hey, were you ever upset about the way you were finished off on the show? I mean, being that you never actually got to be turned into a walker, you know, I think that would be kind of cool. You know what I mean?
That would have been really cool. And that's what I really wanted that to happen. Like, if I could have changed anything besides staying on the show, it would have been turning. Because, I mean, just my size and stature, like, that would have been cool.
I mean, I think it would have been awesome to have Big Tiny as a big walker, you know, a big badass walker walking around.
Exactly.
But I'm not a writer, you know, and you had the script. You had to do what you got to do. But the best part is now your role as Big Tiny has opened up more doors for you, right? I know you're taking part in a lot of comic conventions. Your face is getting recognized. You got future roles in motion pictures. Do you dig the fame? Are you having fun with it?
Well, fame is a very strong word to use. I'm not there yet, but I'm digging what's happening now. Like, it definitely has opened doors, and I'm going to take every opportunity I can to make it work. I love going to conventions. I always have, actually. I love going to conventions before I was able to be a guest. So being on this side of the table is just an amazing experience for me. And I love the way the shape my career has taken since, you know, this opportunity has been presented. You know, some of the roles that I've, even the ones I've been offered and not gotten, like the fact that I even have that chance, I think, wouldn't be if it wasn't for walking in. So I'm really grateful for that.
You know, speaking of more roles, what is coming up for you in the future? What can fans be on the lookout for? I mean, you spoke of something with Robert de Niro and John Cusack. Is there anything else coming up?
Yeah, that came out earlier this year, and this movie called The Starving Games came out last November. It's on Netflix now.
Yeah, that's part of the Hunger Games, right? That's one of in the trilogy of that or whatever. It's a spoof. It's a spoof, right? I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a spoof of the Hunger Games. And
that was last November. And let's see. There's a couple movies that I've had a chance to be in. A movie called Refugio. It's supposed to be coming out later this year. And a few others. And right now, I'm actually working on a little bit of writing and working on that side of things. And just as much audition as I can do, man. Everything that I can talk about, I'll be posting on Twitter and on my website and on Facebook. But right now, it's just working on the craft and constantly training and writing and you know, I have a few roles here and there, but I'm looking forward to the next big thing.
Yeah, man. You know, I got to ask you one more question, and this is the question I ask all my guests. What's something about you nobody knows about? You have any hobbies? You say you don't watch too much TV. Are you a master cook of a certain dish that you consider your specialty? You know, just any neat little thing about yourself as Theodus the man, man. Give us some dirt, man. Give us some dirt on you.
I have a few things about me that a lot of people wouldn't be aware of. I have a big background in burlesque and vaudeville. I make a mean cheesecake. Let's see.
You're a fighter too, right?
I am a fighter. I'm a world champion kickboxer.
World champion, man. Do you still do that then? Are you the current world champion?
It was 2011. They didn't have it the year after, and then I didn't go last year. I'm actually competing for a title this year, though, in July.
So what's the title you're competing for, and who are you fighting?
It's a tournament. The art form is called Sanda. It's a Chinese form of kickboxing, and it's punch, kick, and throwing. So that's really interesting to do. I have a background in a bunch of different martial arts: judo, boxing, kickboxing, and so it gets to put all those together. And I want to go back and compete in judo again. Like I love competing in martial arts. As a big guy, you know, you have to be careful with your weight and things like that because I want to live a while. So
yeah,
I do as much as I can as far as it goes.
Well, man, Theodus, I really appreciate coming on the show. Before we get off here, though, I want to let people know where they can go on the web and get details about you and what you're up to. Do you do social media and you have a website or anything like that?
Absolutely. TheodusCrane.com. That's TheodusCrane.com. Twitter at Theodus Crane. Facebook official Theodus Crane. Instagram The House That Fun Built.
The House That Fun Built. I like that.
Yep.
Theodus, man, thank you so much for taking time out of your evening. I'm a big fan of yours, man. I really dug your character on the show. I look forward to seeing what you're doing. You're going to do in the future, and I'll always remember this conversation with you. And maybe we can speak again someday.
I appreciate it, man. I look forward to it.
All right, man. You have a nice evening.
The 25th Hour Radio Show.